us. If there is any praise, it should go to him. Lord, we thank you. We are here this morning to appreciate you. We can never add a minute to our age, neither a second, neither a day, nor a year. Every second, every minute is you that provides. That's why, Lord, all our praise is geared towards you. We are confident, we are bold, we are powerful, we are gracious. We exist because you existed. Because you are alive. Because you have not changed, you have not died. Though you died, but you died for us, that we will live. This morning you have made it possible for us to give you praise. We can't give praise to anybody but you, God. Take control. Come and speak to us. Prepare us for tomorrow and today. For tomorrow we have no idea. But for today we live. Help us to understand the reason why we exist, so that life will be meaningful. Thank you, Lord, for answering our prayers. In Jesus' mighty name we pray with thanksgiving. Amen. Amen. Sorry, I got carried away when I moved to praise God.
Okay.
But, folks, my heart is thankful. I appreciate God more than anything in life. I don't know what and how I will be and where I will be by now if it wasn't because of him. I don't know how you see yourself, but to me, if it hasn't been the grace of God, I wouldn't have been standing here. In fact, right from day one, as I was growing up, I was knocked down big time by a car. A trotro knocked me down. If you see this mark, I never saw it. When I grew up, they told me the story because I was very young. I didn't see it. I crossed the major road. My mom, everybody in the family thought I'm dead. In fact, they started crying because I'm dead. But lo and behold, here I am. If God did that for me, that means there is a reason why he has permitted me to live as of now. So I always want to go back and reflect where I'm coming from, because I don't want to miss it. The way I'm heading towards is so big, I can't imagine. But today I know. But where I'm heading towards, I have no idea. But I know it's big. So I must be very careful what I do today. I must be very careful how I channel my life. I must be very careful. I'm sharing with you, I don't want to miss anything. I'm sharing with you the topic making oneself a product of a husband or a wife. Base 10. Do you know base 10? Some of you that did math. You know base 10? When you've been asked to maybe express a number, you've been given 129 base 10. Express it or evaluate it or do whatever. What do you do? Base 10. So, what it is that making oneself a product of a husband or a wife, base Christ. When we say base 10, you know what it is. But this one, base Christ. Let's read quickly Genesis chapter 5. We are reading, breaking it down. Chapter 4, we realize Adam had made love with the wife, and then they had a son, Cain. Is that right? He made another love, and then they had Abel. The two lived for a while. Let's find out what happened in chapter 5. Chapter 5 verse 1, I read. This is the written account of Adam's family line. When God created mankind, he made them in the likeness of God. He created them male and female and blessed them and named them mankind when they were created. When Adam had lived 130 years, he had a son in his own likeness, in his own image, and he named him Seth. Now, the Bible did not talk about Cain and Abel, but he just came Seth. It doesn't mean Cain and Abel didn't listen. Adam had Cain and Abel. Unfortunately, Cain killed his brother Abel because of enviness of God accepting his brother's offering. Cain felt jealous, and so the generation of Cain was still existed, but after a while, God gave Adam and Eve another baby, Seth, after 130 years. After 130 years. When Adam had lived 130 years, he had a son and in his own likeness, in his own image, and he named him Seth. After Seth was born, Adam lived 800 years and had another sons and daughters. 800 solid years. After 130, he had another 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Let's continue. Altogether, Adam lived a total of 930 years, and then he died. When Seth had lived 105 years, he became the father of Enosh. Now, he also lived, after he was born, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 105. 105 solid years. He had a son named Enosh. After he became the father of Enosh, Seth lived 807 years again and had another sons and daughters. Altogether, Seth lived a total of 912 years and he died. When Enosh had lived 90 years, he became the father of Canaan. After he became the father of Canaan, Enosh lived 850 years and had another sons and daughters. Altogether, Enosh lived a total of 905 years and then he also died. When Mahalalel had lived, where am I? 12. When Canaan had lived 70 years, he became the father of Mahalalel. And after he became the father of Mahalalel, Canaan lived 840 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Canaan lived total of 910 years and he also died. Now, don't forget the style. After they give birth to first son, I don't know what happens. Either they intentionally wait for after some years, then they have other sons and daughters. So don't forget, each one of them had other sons and daughters. So children and men and women started spreading out. They started multiplying. And some people have questioned, when God banished Cain, punished him, when we read from chapter 4, we saw Cain had a wife. He had a son. He made love with the wife. Cain also married. He had a son, and he named him Enoch. But that Enoch is different from the Enoch we are going to read right now. Let's continue. You understand? 15. When Mahalalel had lived 65 years, he became the father of Jared. And after he became the father of Jared, Mahalalel lived 830 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Mahalalel lived a total of 895 years and he died. When Jared had lived 162 years, he became the father of Enoch. After he became the father of Enoch, Jared lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters. This Enoch is different from Cain's Enoch. Cain also had a son called Enoch. Don't confuse the two. The total 2 people altogether. Altogether, Jared lived a total of 962 years, and then he died. Now, let's look at verse 21. When Enoch had lived 65 years, he became the father of Methuselah. You know Methuselah? Let's read. After he became the father of Methuselah, Enoch walked faithfully with God. And Enoch walked faithfully with God. After he had became the father of Methuselah, Enoch walked faithfully with God 300 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Enoch lived a total of 365 years. Enoch walked faithfully with God. Then he was no more, because God took him away. Full stop. A product of a wife, a product of a husband. When we say a product, what is a product? A set of children at the age of 2 years to the age of 12 are a product of the children's ministry. True or false? True or false? A set of children at the age of 2. Let's say at the age of 1. Let's say at the age of 1 or 6 months. Let 1 will be better. 1 year to the age of 12 are a set of children that belongs to the children ministry. True or false? True. Abba, should I repeat this before you know it is true? It is true. A set 1 to 12 belongs to the children ministry. It's a set. They belong. They are a product of the children ministry. A product of church members from age 16 to 100 and whatever are a set of members that belong to the church. True or false? True. True. It is a set. Enoch, during his days, as we read, did you ever heard from the generation of Adam, did you ever heard that any of them walked with God? No. We never heard somebody could live 9. Adam, apart from Adam, who was kind of directly known to God. You said Adam, when Adam was created, he didn't come like a little boy. Nah. He came grown already. He was mature. And when God created Eve, he was matured already. But his generation started in her. Each one of them started in her. So Adam and Eve trained them, gave them training. At least they would tell them God exists. At least they told them. So how come Enoch was able to walk faithfully with God as we kept reading the same book, Genesis? God became angry. In fact, regretted making mankind. Bible, for the first time, God said, I have regretted creating man, because man's life lived is evil all his life. So because of that, I will shorten his days. Chapter 6. I will shorten his days. God shortened our days to 120. Man could live, even though death existed. Man was able to live more than 900 years. Abba. So imagine you see me 800 and something years and I'm still strong. having children. After 800 something, somebody had sons and 800 years. Hey, you kidding me? You're so strong to have kids. Now when you are about 40, 50 years, if you don't have children, you maybe start, it will take grace from God. You take the grace. It will take the grace. Your time is over. Menopause might have taken place. But folks, among all of them, Enoch lived faithfully. Among all his generation, when he came in his time, he was able to live faithfully. In fact, everybody God saw during that time couldn't live faithfully with God. Nobody. Do you think it's our generation alone that people are not faithful? No. It has happened right from day one. Right from day one. How can you be a product of a particular market? Enoch prepared himself to be a product. He didn't know. But at least he knew there is a God he has to be faithful to. Enoch prepared himself a product of heaven. All of a sudden, Bible says, at age, he, among all his generation, he was the one that did not live that long. Only 360, what? 65, 62? 65. 365 years, he got vanished. Rapture took over. Translation. He was translated. Folks, I am here to let you know, if you live right, you'll be translated.
Amen.
God is watching you every day. He wants to translate your life. Translation means you are taken from a different place to another. Being transferred from here to another level. Enoch, as he lived, nobody saw him. Pam! Gone. He was taken out. Why? Because that little days he stayed with God faithfully, God took him out. God saw that there is something in this particular guy. He is a product of heaven. He doesn't fit here. You are not a product of this earth.
Amen.
Amen.
Oh, I didn't say amen.
Amen.
You want to live here on earth? You want to establish yourself. So you are building mansions. You are making all what you want to make. You want to live good. And you want to live good and live God.
Thank God.
Have the base of Christ as you live. Have him as your base. Base 10. Have him as your base. The base of your life as you live is Christ.
Amen.
Enoch lived all his days, became faithful to his time, when there was everything he was seeing was evil. All his environment. The Bible says he was raptured because he lived faithfully. Do you imagine what can happen to you? Do you imagine what is going to happen when our life here on earth will be shortened? How can you be a product of a wife? How can you be a product of a husband? How? You don't know how to talk to a woman. You don't know how to talk to a man. And you want to be a product of a wife or of a husband. It becomes impossible. You are not married. You want to be married to. You want to marry. You are married. You want to maintain your stand as a product of the family. Know that this session, this period is about family. But for me to be a product of the family, I must belong to the family. I must do things that will make me be part. Right now, if you are being promoted from this service to the children's ministry, when you get there, the only thing the kids will see you to be, maybe he or she is a teacher to come and teach us. But when the kids see that you are also sitting down, being taught, hey, this product is wonderful. Minister James, all of a sudden, pastor will promote you back to the children's ministry. We went there. We are not going to teach. The minister, Minister Abigail is teaching you. Then you are reciting.